Hi, I'm Kenneth WAJDA. I'm a professional photographer here in Colorado, and welcome to another one of my photography talks. Today I want to talk about gear. Specifically, somebody said to me recently, you know, I'm never going to be a Leica owner. I'm never going to buy a Leica. I just can't afford it. Even the little 2s and the 3s that you talk about, I'm never going to buy one. So I thought, all right, then this is the one to get. The Olympus XA. This will fit in your pocket just as easily as, or even more easily than that 2 or that 3 will with a collapsible lens. It's got a fast 35mm 2.8 lens on it. This camera you can get for under 50 bucks. I see them all the time, and this one's in pristine condition. That's the way I see them. Don't buy one that's beat up. There's plenty of them that are nice, and if it's working, it's working. Make sure that the shutter fires. The fact that these have a feather touch electronic shutter, when you touch it, when you open up the lens and you test it, if there's a battery in it, when you just barely touch that red shutter release, it'll fire. If you have to kind of like fight it, to press on it, to get it to go, you kind of can figure out how to make it go, but it doesn't do it all the time exactly when you want it to. That's the one issue I found with some of these XAs, is that the shutter release is a little bit like you have to point it a certain way and you have to like press it a certain way, and the shot's gone. I want to shoot it at the moment that I want to shoot it. And there are plenty of these that are working, but that's the one issue that you want to be careful of, is watch out that that shutter isn't working, but it's not always working. It's not always 100% exactly when you want to shoot it, because that's the most important thing with these little cameras. It's got a aperture dial, so you can set the aperture and then it'll set the corresponding shutter speed, but you can shoot, you know, an f/16, you can shoot a 2.8, that's great. You can actually have some control over this camera, but then you can shoot different shutter speeds just by fooling it. If you change the film speed, say you're shooting 400 speed and you want to add more light, tell the camera you're shooting 200 speed and it'll add more light. It'll double the exposure. The camera is completely controllable because it's not DX coded. You can actually control the ISO with a little switch. So this camera gives you a lot of control. And if you're not going to be a Leica guy or a Leica girl and you want to have a small rangefinder for your pocket, I don't like the XA2 or the XA3 or the 4 as much as I like the original, because the original has the actual rangefinder. You actually hand focus it. You look through the viewfinder, and just like the Leica, it's got 2 images that coincide and you can actually focus this. And I can see focus really easily with it, and it's got a good viewfinder. Again, this is a inexpensive, no excuses for not having a camera with you. If you've got this camera, you've got a quality camera in your pocket. I used to shoot in the 90s. I used to carry Velvia, and it was film we used at the newspaper, and we could take some for personal, and I would put Velvia in here for trips, and I shot all across the US with Velvia in one of these, and that was like the most amazing series of slides. I did a whole program on travel photography using slides from this camera, because the quality of the camera was so good and the accuracy of the meter was good, and I could bracket exposure by using that ISO change. It's even got a self timer, and when you put the self timer on, it creates a little foot so that it won't tip over. Really smart design. Great little camera. The Olympus XA, I can't recommend them enough. I love them. And it's nowhere near the build quality of a Leica with the metal, but for a plastic lightweight pocket camera, it's one you really can't beat. All right, that's today's photography talk. If you're enjoying these, hit the subscribe button. We'll talk some more. And send the link to your friends too. That helps me. All right, thanks so much.